Okay, so I'm back. Last we left off, I was telling you about how I had written this tribute to Patsy Cline show. They were building a Christian activity center next to our church that we belong to, and our Bible study wanted to do something to raise money for that, and they suggested I sing. And I said, well, I just can't get up there and sing. I need something to sing or some sort of idea that's going to sell this. And the Lord put it in my head to write this tribute show, and so we did it. And my husband's friend helped out with the sound. Another friend helped with running the slideshow, and we sold 600 tickets in 3 days, and it was just really, really cool. So after that, it was like, okay, now I guess I should be doing something professional with this. And again, that same friend that helped with the sound was very interested in the music business. He really wanted to help and take a major interest in trying to develop my career, which totally appreciate to this day. If it wasn't for Craig Baker, I would not be doing what I'm doing today. So big shout out to Craig. Thank you so much. And for Nan for allowing your husband to take that time to, get this thing in motion. So, I started just calling places, mostly nursing homes, assisted living, senior centers, things like that, where I would feel comfortable, kind of honing my craft and getting used to being comfortable in front of a crowd. It really, I swear to God, my hand shook for like the first 6 months I would sing until I really got used to it. And, learning songs, getting the songs, which back then, this is quite archaic again, folks. This was in 1993 that I learned I could sing. So probably about 1994, early 95 is when we really started trying to put things together to do this professionally. And again, at the time, karaoke was pretty big, so there were folks around town who were running karaoke nights. One of them was Bobby Baker. Another gentleman that helped me, his name was Ron Kitson. I would go to their houses and I would tell them these are the songs that I want to get, and they would charge me per song to record them onto cassette tapes for me. But the big trick was getting them in the key that I wanted them in. So we would go over, I'd sing like a little bit of the song, find which key I wanted it, and then they would record them onto cassette tapes. And when I would go out to sing at a nursing home or something, I would have this, it was a bigger system actually, two pretty good sized speakers, and then the mixing board and all the cords and everything that went with it. And I'd have this tray of these cassette tapes that were labeled, and I had bought a dual cassette player so that I could, while one was playing, when I was done with that one, I could erase it while the next one was playing. Not erase it, rewind it. If I erased it, I'd be in big trouble. I could rewind it and then play the next one and so forth. And I had maybe 30 songs to get me through an hour gig where I had a little bit of a choice of selection and so forth. Then we started kind of branching out and approaching some of the area restaurants and clubs that were having entertainment. And at that time, there was a lot more entertainment happening than there is now. So I would have to send them a demo tape. And so we recorded some things at home, made a demo tape, labeled it, sent it to the places or dropped it off, and started getting gigs that way at some of the local clubs. And of course had to keep expanding the music, because you had to do, at that time it was 4 hours was the normal gig. And the gigs went 10 to 2 or 9 to 1 was the norm. It's crazy when I think about it now. Here I had 2 young kids I was raising and going out and having to perform till 2 in the morning. Thank God for my parents and Poppy, their other grandparent, and some of the aunts and uncles were kind enough to watch the kids so that I could pursue this singing career. But it was just crazy that the amount of gigs I was starting to get. I was working pretty regularly. And then as time progressed, I wanted to do some of the bigger things like the fairs and festivals where people were singing, but they were saying they didn't really want just a solo artist with the background tracks. They wanted a full band. So I decided to put a band together. Now, I had been doing the solo thing for probably at least 3 years at that point, and we were actually already pursuing a record contract, and I was traveling to Nashville several times a year, meeting with different people and networking and trying to get that going. That's for a whole nother YouTube video. But at this point, like I said, we just wanted to get a band together and started auditioning different people, trying to put together a good band so I could get some of these bigger gigs. And that is a lot of work. And we were able to do it. But at that point, Craig, who had been helping me for several years, his business was really taking off, and his wife was getting involved in the political arena and so forth, and she needed his help, and he really didn't want to have anything to do with a band. He'd done a band when he was in his teens, and he knows what it was like to have a band. And we'll talk about that again at a later date, but yeah, he just decided that was the time that he was going to pull back from the whole thing. And so at that time, myself and my husband were on our own to pursue doing the bigger, better gigs and putting the band together and making that tight. So that's part two. And I do want to say something at this point, though. It is, to me, just miraculous that I even started doing this at 30 years old. And it's just amazing to me how God worked in this whole thing. I was really directed to do this, and I knew it. And when I look back at the jobs that I had from the time I was in high school to when I graduated and worked in the billing department and was a receptionist, answering phones, dealing with people, and then went on to become the receptionist, and then worked my way up to office manager, and then getting into the advertising business, which I learned a lot about selling product, marketing, buying and placing ads appropriately to get the most out of the advertisement, writing jingles, writing commercials, and then after leaving there, going on to doing in-store demonstrations, again, becoming comfortable in front of a crowd, advertising a product, being comfortable on a microphone in the store, advertising said product, and then even the craft business, using arts and crafts and kind of getting experience more artistically about things. It all tied together when it came to doing this business. I'm using all those skills and all those other jobs that I had along the way in order to do this business. That being said, there was still a lot to learn, and I was new to a business that I'd never had anything to do with, but that wasn't going to stop me. I figure if I could learn all these other skills, I could certainly learn things as I go along in this business as well. And we were having fun doing it, even though it was a lot of work. I'm just glad that I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss, and I really, really enjoy that, and I love the freedom that I have, with my family and so forth. If I needed to take some time off to do something with the kids at that time, or if I want to go on a little vacation, I need to get away, need a break from it, I can schedule around that. I don't have to worry about getting it approved from somebody above me and so forth. And just really thankful again to all the people who helped along the way to get that business started. And now my current husband, John, is just extremely, extremely important to the success of my business. He helps everything from bookings to making sure the equipment's working and up and running, and updating equipment and setting up and tearing down and networking, and just anything and everything that needs an extra hand, he's there to help me with. And I just really am so blessed that he came along in my life when he did, because at that point I didn't know if I was going to be able to keep doing the business, because it isn't something that I can do just by myself. It takes a village. And we also have a lot of fans and friends who help with set up and tear down at gigs and things like that too. Some of them even help with the merchandise tables. And so I'm just very, very blessed to have the people around me that help make this business successful for me. And if you can do that in your business or something that you're doing in your life, it's a good thing. Don't ever take those people for granted, and thank God for blessing you with them every day. All right, that's it for this one. This is getting long-winded, so I'll come back again with the next video, and we are going to talk about things that you need to do to get into the business, creating a demo package, and how to network, and making phone calls, and what kind of places you want to go and sing at or play at, and find that perfect audience for you. So that'll be in the next video. Thanks for sticking with me today. Got a lot to talk about, 25 years worth of a business. So if you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that your notifications are on so you can get the new videos when they come out. Thanks everybody, God bless.